In the shadowed folds of the kingdom of Eldoria, where the sun kissed the hills with a tired warmth and the stars whispered secrets to those who would listen, there lived a blacksmith's daughter named Alara. Her fingers, calloused from the forge, danced over metal as if it were clay, shaping it into forms of beauty and purpose. Alara's heart held dreams too big for the small village nestled on the edge of the known world. One dusky evening, as the last ember in the forge's heart threatened to fade, Alara found an old, leather-bound almanac tucked away in a forgotten nook of her father's workshop. Its pages, brittle with age, sang a tale of a time when magic breathed through the veins of the earth. It was the legacy of Alaric the Wise, the realm's greatest alchemist, who had vanished centuries ago, leaving behind only legend and mystery. Within the almanac, a map unfurled, revealing a path to a forgotten isle said to cradle Alaric's final miracle, the Aetherstone. This gem held the promise of endless wealth and the power to mend flesh and bone. It was a beacon of hope to Alara, whose mother had fallen to an ailment no healer could mend. But whispers of the almanac's discovery spread like wildfire, igniting the ambition of the Crimson Reavers, a band of treasure hunters as ruthless as the seas were deep. Led by the enigmatic Captain Vane, they sought the Aetherstone for dominion and doom. Alara, with the almanac as her guide, embarked on a journey across wild seas and untamed lands. She deciphered riddles woven by Alaric's hand, each one leading her closer to the isle and the treasure it held. She waded through ancient ruins, her path lit by bioluminescent moss and the steel of her resolve. The Reavers were always a shadow's length behind, their swords and threats as sharp as the cliffs of the isle that finally rose before Alara. The island was a labyrinth of stone and enchantment. Each chamber presented a trial, a test of wit and will, and the blacksmith's daughter met them all with a courage that belied her years. In the heart of the isle, under a cathedral of stalactites, the Aetherstone gleamed with an inner light, its surface swirling with the colors of creation itself. But as Alara reached out, Captain Vane emerged from the shadows, his hand steady on his cutlass. "I commend your bravery, lass, but the prize is mine," Vane sneered, his eyes glinting with greed. Alara stood her ground, her voice echoing. "This stone can save lives. It's not meant for bloodshed and greed." A duel ensued, steel clashing against steel, until Alara, with a clever feint, disarmed Vane, sending him sprawling. The Reavers, witnessing their captain's defeat, fled in disarray. Alara approached the Aetherstone, her thoughts on her mother. But the weight of responsibility bore down on her. With the power to heal came the power to corrupt. She realized that safeguarding the Aetherstone required a sacrifice akin to Alaric's own disappearance. In the end, she hid the stone anew, crafting riddles and wards to protect it. Alara returned home, her mother's condition unchanged, but the journey had changed Alara. She carried within her a wisdom beyond her years, a knowledge that true bravery often meant foregoing one's own desires for the greater good. And while the Aetherstone remained hidden, the tale of the blacksmith's daughter who outwitted the fiercest of foes for the sake of her kingdom turned her into a legend, a story told alongside that of Alaric the Wise, inspiring all who heard it to the nobility of sacrifice and the courage of the heart.